Brian. There you go.
What's going on, Brian?
Simeone, ole, ole, ole.
How are we doing, Brian?
I'm good. Ben, when you start singing to me, I'll get a song for you. But when Simeon sings, I have to sing back.
Brian Daigle, Brian Daigle, ole, ole, ole.
There's only one Ben Daniel. Only one Ben Daniel.
That's the lazy Spurs fans, man. Every time they can't think of a song for a Spurs fan, there's only one Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, I had to think so. First of all, just a few things. KPV, 30 months. Good on you. I will be celebrating 47 next week. You got a long way to go, brother. Shame I missed Alice. I'm going to go back and watch it because she's brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. But the reason I did miss it, Ben and Sim, I've got a request for you. I was on the phone to my nephew Isaac, who loves you and watches you and Noah, and he goes, when you're back in April for my birthday / bar mitzvah, as a present, can you take me to the We Are Tottenham TV studios? I was like, yeah, I think we can do that. So I was doing that. But yeah, now on to the serious things of the big test coming up.
Yeah, and it is a big test, obviously, after a taxing game in Europe, playing with 10 men. I think I counted about 5 probably players that won't start. So I guess that's a positive in our favour as well. Man United coming into it with a 1-1 draw at home to 20, which, they won't be too high in confidence about. But judging the two teams coming into it, do you think Spurs have the edge in terms of a confidence level, or do you think, it doesn't really matter, going to Old Trafford is always going to be a very, very difficult game?
Well, confidence, we're on the back of 3 wins.
Yeah.
And things are looking a lot rosier than they were a couple of weeks ago, let's be fair. I'm actually super duper confident about this one, and I think their defence...
That's not a good sign, Brian.
Mate, I've put a couple of things down in the chat because you two mentioned it before, and this is what did it for me. But first of all, I think their defence is going to be as leaky as their stadium. So we're chance there. But I can't remember if it was you, Ben, or Sim that read it out about the team that was there last year.
Yeah.
In the 2-2. And you look at it, that midfield, you said it was Skip, Bentancur and Pierre.
Yeah.
Well, now it's going to be Bissouma or Bentancur, let's say. There's no imagination or real creativity in that midfield, is there, when we went up and you put James Maddison in there? So already there's that creative spark that we were ahead. And then you look at that forward line that you mentioned of Johnson, Ritchie and Werner. Ritchie was on form. Werner, Johnson certainly wasn't. But now you got a Solanke in there as well. Now you got Solanke. I think obviously the back 5 picks itself, really, doesn't it? When they're fit, that back 5 picks itself.
Yeah.
Based on our midfield and attack that went there last year, compared to the midfield and attack that are going there this year, that's why I'm confident. Forget what Man U can throw at us. I mean, I didn't get to hear. Who are the 5 players you said were out for United or rumoured to be out?
No, not out. I said 5 players that started the game on Thursday night. No, that didn't start the game on Thursday. That will start probably on this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Destiny did come on, and we know he'll start. But yeah, I think we go in on the back of 3 wins. We've won them in different ways. Got the jobs done. I am actually confident that we're going to go there and get 3 points. And I don't normally say that about Old Trafford. I don't normally say that. So
how big would a win for our season be on Sunday, Brian? Would it really get it back on track after some poor results at the beginning?
Massively. And do you know what? I think what the most important, not only will it be great for our season, I think then if we get a win at Old Trafford, fans need to take a step back and go, do you know what? I've been heavily critical, whether it be players, manager, style of play, whatever, and say, do you know what? Everyone said, well, we couldn't do it there. We haven't done it against a big team, blah, 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 blah. If we go and do it against Manchester United, those people that have been criticising and saying everything negative, which listen, fair play. I understand if people want the manager out or don't agree with players, everyone to their own, they have their own opinion. But if we go ahead and we do well, then you've got to come out and say, do you know what? We haven't won at the big teams away or even at home. Well, we have now. If the players put in a good performance or that tactically Ange gets it right, go, do you know what? Ange got it absolutely spot on the money. Not, oh, well, we were so wide open, we let in so many chances. Okay, we did, but we won. We were letting in chances in those first 10 games, but we were just getting it done. So if we get a win tomorrow, I hope people have a brand new aspect on going forward where we're going.
What do we do with the Sonny situation? Obviously, goes down injured. He spoke before the game about playing too many games and stuff like that. And just spoke in his press conference about him potentially playing too many games as well. Would you like to take him out the firing line a bit this weekend, or is this game a bit too big for that?
Well, first of all, do you know what? Last time we didn't know if he was going to be fit. If people remember, he turned up fit and we battered them 6-1 during COVID. When we thought he weren't going to play. We're at the point now where obviously he's a few years later, he's a few years older. I've said it on your show, I've said it, but we overplay and undervalue players a lot. And when I say undervalue, I don't mean financially. I mean, if they're fit, they play. If they're fit, they play. If they're fit, they play. And I think we've been running
undervalue the health is what you're talking about, the health aspect.
Correct. And I think we've done that with Sonny. I mean, if we'd had Odegaard fit, that'd have been perfect, wouldn't it? Is what he's been playing it for Burnley. It's a real tough call for United. If he is fit, I think you do play him, and maybe you rest him. Who's the next game? It's the Hungary game, isn't it? Fenerbahce or whatever. So that would be the game. If it's one or the other, I would say play him. But if he's not ready, I'd rather we don't risk him and then he aggravates it and is out for longer, rather than just try and get him for this game. So it's a real tough one. I think I heard you mentioning that Ange said he's trading today, or he said he wants to.
He wants to, yeah.
He wants to train tomorrow. He wants to train tomorrow, I think he said. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know what their travel arrangements are. If they go up tonight, if they train up there tomorrow, or they go up tomorrow after training. We've got to be careful because we cannot. He's one player we cannot risk to aggravate. Like Mickey van der Ven, if he's got a hamstring or if he's got, do not aggravate that injury. Do not risk it for one game, because there's more games that will be more important. So if Sonny is not feeling 100%, do not play him. Or start.
I kind of feel like we should take him out of the firing line, because I know Sonny and I know that, he'll just want to get on that pitch and play no matter what kind of kind of levels he's at in terms of his fitness. So I think we should rest him, potentially keep him on the bench for this game and use him if we need him in the latter stages of the game. Rest him completely for the game out in Hungary, and then hopefully have him completely back fit for that double header against Brighton and West Ham, because those are going to be two especially hard games as well.
Correct. They're two
West
massive
Ham not
games,
after
aren't
the
they?
international break.
Is it? Yeah, sorry, it is on. Yeah.
Okay, so even on international, if I don't know if Korea will obviously send him out whether he's fit or not, just because that's what he does, and they'll have his medical team look at. So there's a hell of a lot of things to go into Sonny and his fitness now. The travel, and obviously we know the distances he has to cover because for playing for South Korea. So you've got to monitor Sonny. We've got to monitor all of our players, but Sonny is a player, not just our captain, but he is our best player, isn't he? Let's face it, he is our best player. There's no denying it. I couldn't believe that stat that came out this week saying, or after the Brentford game, saying he's created the most chances in the Premier League. And I hadn't seen that. It was been deceived. So we know how vital he can be. He's having to change his game in this system. And if it's missing for one game and know he's going to be fit for a lot more, rather than risking him and then running the risk that we could lose him for a while, not a chance. Do not risk it.
How big is it for you? Brennan and Solanke in good form at the moment, but the naysayers always say, it's only Karabag and it's only Brentford and all this thing. So how important is it for you that they really show what they're all about on Sunday, doing it against a bigger team?
I think. Listen, Solanke. Let's start with Johnson. Johnson has now scored 3 games. Like Ariane said yesterday, 3 different competitions. I'll keep going back to that Coventry one, and people can say, yeah, it's only Coventry. That could have been penalties. That was through 1-on-1. If he had missed it, God knows what it would have done for his confidence. And to win the game at the death from a shocking game. The Brentford goal he took brilliantly. Yesterday he looked that was a confident finish, wasn't it? That was a first time side foot finish. I mean, if that had been a few weeks ago, we'd have even done that. People say let's see him do it against United. He doesn't score against the smaller teams. Well, let's hope he can do it. And I actually think he will. I actually think Johnson will score.
But you know what those guys will say if Brennan scores against United? They'll just be like, "Oh, it's the worst United team we've ever seen."
Correct. I mean, this is the thing. It's like literally, this is the part now. Obviously, like I said, I've changed my tactics. I'm not going so bang and gutting in. I'm trying to see the positives when there are positives and not just focusing on the negatives. He's now. We've just won 3 games. Yes, they weren't the greatest of victories. Yes, they weren't the biggest of teams. But it's 3 victories. If we've had 3 draws, 3 defeats, or a mixed combination, a win, a draw, then there's things to talk. We're winning these games.
Yeah,
we've won the games. We've gone through to a round of a cup and taken 2 sets of 3 points in 2 different competitions. Johnson is now scoring. Solanke has started scoring, and as we were talking yesterday, Solanke's movement and press and energy is like something we haven't seen, and it's really having an impact on the team. And now is Son and Johnson playing together, and I still think, and I said it yesterday, and I keep saying it, whether it's been a Johnson thing or Anne just changed something to say, right, Brennan Johnson, you're better with the space and the counter attack, and that's how we're going to get you. There's certainly been a tweak there. There's certainly something that's clicked, and it deserves credit from Brennan Johnson. Deserves a hell of a lot of credit for the abuse he's taken and everything, how that can affect, and now scoring. Angie's making tweaks. Yes, we're still open. Yes, we're still a work in progress. Yes, there's issues that need to be solved. Yes, the midfield needs to be more, do more to help the defence out. But it's not all going to happen in one game. We're not going to turn into the Harlem Bloody Globetrotters in one game. And there are subtle differences that are happening. And if we can get the 3 points against Manchester United, that should be a huge indication to everyone that things are starting to change gradually. Granted, it's going to take a lot more people a lot longer to go, yeah, do you know what? Here we go. But let's enjoy the highs at the moment. 3 wins, bloody hell! Come on, let's have it.
Come on. In terms of the starting lineup, you mentioned the choice between Basuma and Bentancur. Who would you go for?
It's a tough one for me right now because obviously Bentancur, I think, was brilliant against Brentford before he went off. I think his performance has gone not as mentioned as Maddison, and rightfully so. Maddison had a great game and obviously the creative one. And I don't think his ban's going to come today now, is it? So he's going to be eligible to play regardless against United. Basuma needs the minutes. But do you know what? I think I would go Bentancur. I think I would go Bentancur just because, again, like we said about Sonny, if Basuma is running down on or coming back to fitness and Bentancur could be out of domestic competitions for a while, let Basuma rest and get ready and play. So for me, I would go Bentancur.
And he scored at Old Trafford last year as well.
He did indeed. If Werner starts, let's just hope he remembers to run to the huddle this time because it was his first game, wasn't it? And he ran up onto the left wing and completely forgot or wasn't aware we have a huddle. So, but yeah, I would start Bentancur.
Brian, I'm loving the positivity, the positive energy, rating off you today. What's your score prediction?
Do you know what? You
gotta go big. You gotta go big.
Mate, do you know what? I'm going the same as KPV. I'm going 3. There's always goals in this game, isn't there? I'm going 3-2. I'm going 3-2.
Who's going to score?
Solanke and Johnson will get a goal each, and then I don't care who the other one is. It could be Vicario for all I care. From doing a Paul Robinson, but Solanke
Mikey
and Johnson.
Moore winner off the bench. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, could you imagine? That'd be wonderful.
Brian, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for coming on today.
Always, and I've just got one more request for you. Listen, there's how many? Almost 400 people in here. It's a Friday. 5 letters. BINGO. BINGO. Go on, give the people what they need.
Brian, as you've requested so nicely, let us do our predicted lineup and maybe we'll finish off on a nice little weekend
There you
bingo.
go. There you go. Have a good weekend, everyone. See you later.
Cheers, Brian.